Hello drafters, in this video we're going to look at the new BQ product, the Aura for the A1 Mini. I'm going to show you how to install it. It's quite simple. There's also one available for the A1, but anyway, I'll show you on the A1 Mini. Let's get into it. So the first thing, opening the box, there's not much in it. It comes with the LED controller, a small bag of accessories and cables, and of course the Perspex LED panel itself. Looking at the LED controller, you can see it has numerous ports where you connect cables to, and a reset button on the front. And here's a close-up of the BQ Aura panel itself. To get started, the first thing we want to do is lift over our A1 Mini so that we can access the base. And we need to remove 4 screws. To see exactly which ones you need to remove, you can put the LED panel on the bottom and see where the bolts line up. So I'm starting with the top right and just unscrewing that one, and then the top left. And if you're not sure which bolt it is, just put the plate back on, line it up again, and then I'm going to remove the bottom left and the bottom right. In the accessory bags, you'll see the screws we need to put in, and also in this bag you should have an Allen key, which is the correct size you need. It also comes with the cable, an attachment plate, and those screws I was talking about. So attaching the panel, make sure that the cable is on the same side as the cables of the A1 Mini. Line up with the bolt holes and then start with the top right, and then the top left, bottom right, bottom left. Try not to over tighten them. Once those are all fastened into place, flip the A1 Mini back over. And in my case, I'm already using the 2 ports on the side. One is for the Panda Nomi face and one is for the LED panel on the bottom. So if you want to extend that further, you can get what is called the Panda branch, which I've shown in a previous video, and this will expand your power ports. In my case, I'm just going to continue with the installation without a Panda branch. So here we have the LED panel, the backing plate, the short cable, and you'll also have a long cable. You can turn the A1 Mini around on its side so you can see the power ports easier. And we just want to attach the LED panel to the LED controller on the bottom port. So connect that into place. Get an idea of where you're going to locate it. And then peel off the adhesive side of the backing plate. And the LED controller actually has magnets on the back, so you can magnetically attach the plate and then use the adhesive side to stick onto the A1 Mini. So as you can see here, the magnets should just hold that controller in place. Now connect the short and the long cable together. I found this cable is quite long, so I'm just going to clean it up a bit, just wrapping it up a few times and using some zip ties to secure that together, just to keep things a bit neater. So I've removed one of the ports that I was already using and plugged it in. And then you want to attach the other end of the cable to this internal connector of the LED controller. You can also route the cable through the guide here and then attach it to the side of that plate. But those magnets I found are really weak. It was just dropping off. So I actually decided to remove this panel and just use some double-sided backing tape and then just fixing the LED controller with that. I found that was much better. So if you followed along, everything should be working. Power on the A1 Mini, and you should see a blue flowing light, which means it's ready to pair. So let's jump into the next step. With the printer now on, and you should see that blue flowing light going around the bottom of the Panda Aura, this means it's ready to pair to the machine. So you need to go and connect to the hotspot of the Aura, and then you can go in and pair it to the machine and change any settings you want. You can do this either on your PC like I'm using now, or you can use your phone as well. I find the PCs just a bit easier. So the first thing you can do, which I can't show you on this screen, but I have gone into my Wi-Fi connections, found the Panda Aura, and it'll just have like A1 Mini with some numbers, and I've connected to that, and then the default password is 987654321. So I've put that in and it's now connected. Once you're connected, you want to put in this IP address, which is 192.168.254.1. And if everything's okay, you should see this screen when you've either connected it, started it for the first time, or you've reset it. There's some default settings that we need to set up first. So your language preference, I'm going to go English, and you click next. And then it's going to ask for a Wi-Fi connection to find the actual printer. It will do an automatic scan. It will say it's completed. So you can click OK, and you can drop this down and you should see some different Wi-Fi connections. So what you want to do is select the Wi-Fi connection that your printer is connected to. So in my case, I have drafted, and then you enter your password for your Wi-Fi connection and then connect. Leave it for a moment and you should see it come up like this, saying that the Panda Aura A1 Mini is connected to this Wi-Fi network. Click binding to go to the printer binding page, or click cancel to stay on the Wi-Fi. So you want to go to binding. So all it's doing is it's now connected to our Wi-Fi network that the printer is connected to, which in my case was my drafted Wi-Fi. And it has also found that the A1 Mini is on that same network. If everything has been found, we can click on binding and you should see something like this. If you drop it down, you might not see anything. So you click on scan, give it a moment. It should do a scan and it will see any printers that are on that network. It takes about 40 seconds. It will say that the printer scan is completed. Click OK. And when you drop down your printer select, you should see a bunch of different printers, or maybe only one, but in my case I have 3 different printers, an X1C, an H2S and an A1 Mini. So obviously this is for the A1 Mini and that's the printer I want to bind to. So I can click A1 Mini. It's going to bring up the serial number that it's picked up and you need to enter the access codes. So back on the A1 Mini screen, we go to options and then click on LAN only mode. This is where you'll find your access code. Once you have that access code, go and enter it into this screen here. The IP should also match and then you can click on bind. And if everything's successful, it should say that the Panda Aura A1 Mini has been bound to the designated printer and click OK. If everything's successful, you should see that the Aura is a solid blue color now, indicating that the printer is bound and we can go in and adjust any settings we want. So this is the Bifrost engine. This is where you control things such as colors and effects. And I'll just give you a quick tour of it. And you can always go back to this screen if you want to change the settings by switching to that network of the Aura, and then you can log in and change any settings you want. You can actually change the access point to something other than the default settings. So if you go to the AP screen here, you can see the AP name. There is the AP password, which is basic default password it gives you, 987654321. But you can change the name and the password to something different and then confirm, and that way you can stop anyone else logging in with the default options. If you ever get stuck and can't remember the password, you can hold down the reset button on the box and then that will go back to the default, but you'll of course lose any settings that you've changed. On the Wi-Fi screen, this is where you can connect and configure any Wi-Fi changes. You can also change the host name for your access point. You can see the access point name here, but when you want to connect to the Bifrost engine, you can either use an IP address or you can use a host name. So for example, I can go to this Panda Aura A1 Mini by simply going to pandaura a1mini.local. And you can see it's taken me to the Bifrost engine. So that's another way you can do it as well. You can change this name and save it and have a custom name if you wanted to as well. And back in the first screen, which is the control panel. So here you can select your devices if you have multiple of them, but you'll likely only have one. You can turn on and off the light effects if you really want to. You can turn it on and off with the printer light if you want to. And this last one is that whenever there's an error for maybe a filament run out or something like that, it will flash red, similar to like the H series printers and their status bars. So you can turn that on and off if you wish. There's a whole bunch of different lighting effects here that you can change. If you've ever used RGB before, you're probably familiar with some of these things such as breathing and strobing, etc. But I think I would use the H2D style, so that way you have all these different settings for different statuses of the printer. So for example, when it's downloading a file, it's going to be yellow. When it's preparing a print, it's orange. Idle is just white. Printing, it's going to go through a range of colors. If there's an error, it's red. When it's paused, it's white. And when the print is finished, it's green. And you can go in and change these as well if you want to. Now these colors, I don't believe you can actually change. So if I click on this, it's just going to show you a list that you see on the screen here. You can control the brightness and but you can't control the speed because there is no speed to those settings. There is also sound effects. So currently it's on silent, but you can set a custom sound when a print is done or an alarm. And there's different ways of indicating errors as well with the sound. Now preview mode is if you want to just check something, you can put preview mode on and then set an alarm and you can just hear what it sounds like. So you're basically forcing it to play the sound and then you just turn that off. And you can also set the volume of those sounds as well. So example, if I want to change the sound for the printing done, I could change it to this, but I don't know what it sounds like. So what I could do is set it to preview mode and you can hear it in the background so I know what it sounds like. And then once you select something, you can turn the preview mode off. Next tab is the settings. So this is where you will update firmware for the RGB controller. I don't believe there's any updates currently, but if you check the wiki and there is a new one and you want to update it for whatever reason, see here it's currently version 1. You can download the bin file and then you can use this to select the bin file and update the firmware. So apart from that, that's pretty much all the settings. It's quite easy to go through. And if you ever want to change anything, just jump into the panel here and see what you can play with. All right, let's finish off this video. So that is the installation process for the new BQ Aura LED panel for the A1 Mini, also available for the A1 printer from Bambu Lab. I highly recommend this product. It's well made, easy to install, and gives you a visual cue to what your printer is doing, similar to the Bambu Lab H2 series printers. If you're interested in purchasing this product or any other BQ products, then I recommend using the affiliate link in the description of this video, as that helps support the channel. As always, I hope you found value in this video. If you have, please consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, and thanks for watching.